Let's turn that.
Yeah, okay. We're good. We got sound. One person, and it's myself, but that's fine. We're working on fixing the deck. Because there's all these little surface cracks all over the deck, and there's not any structural issue with it, but in order to fill the deck eventually, we need it to not look quite so shit. So that's what we're working on today.
What's that? Like that? That might do it.
Point it down so you can see the deck. Oh no, that's pretty good actually. Okay. No one's gonna do this, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. It's wood.
So that means it's rotten.
Yep. So that'll have to be dremeled out. That crack and this crack, probably. Yep. That's wet. Huh?
What do we do about the wood being rotten?
We're going to have to Dremel it out, cut it out, and then fill it.
I mean, but how deep could the rot be?
We won't know until we start digging. I didn't even know, we didn't know what that was, but I guess it's wood. It looks like it's wood.
Fucking wet and gross in there, and it's sealed. So whatever is rotten is probably just...
Possibly. Let's see. That's dry. That's wet. So maybe we just leave that for now. In the future, we will try to just excavate this area.
Yeah, easier said than done.
Yeah.
Or do we want to quarantine this area?
Quarantine that, just move on.
Okay. I'm ready to try the filler.
All right, let's do that. Well, you have to clean it and acetone it and sweep it. So
there's a couple more.
yeah, just get the ones you need to get, and then try that area, and then we'll move on. We'll just move on.
Yeah.
Keep trucking.
I'll show chat what we're looking at.
Show the chat.
Show the chat. You want to see what the problem is. So, okay, so what's happening? Oh, what we're working on is we've been drilling out. Oh, there's little spider cracks all over the deck. Sorry for shaking the camera. And it's just these little guys that are all over the deck. And eventually we want to make the deck pretty and put something that'll seal all of that, because even though the deck is solid plastic fiberglass, it is just pulling up parts of the deck. You can see down here is really bad, whole chunks of the deck are coming off, which isn't structurally that much of a concern because the deck is still solid underneath, but it's just not great. So we started drilling all of that out and essentially making the cracks worse on purpose to then fill them with something that'll seal the whole thing, and then we can paint over it. But while in progress of that, because around these areas, these little things that are built out of the deck for the cleats and the winches, the cracking around those was really bad. So I started Dremel-ing that out. And there was a big crack here, just like this one on this part. I started drilling that one out. And we found, it's going to be kind of difficult to see, but we discovered that these are wooden, not plastic. And so the crack has allowed moisture and forbidden truffle, I guess. It's just rotten, soft wood inside, which isn't great. So we're trying to figure out how to handle that, because essentially we just have to deal with that at some point. And like, I tried to Dremel into it to see how deep it goes, and I probably drilled to like here, at least like an inch or half an inch, and it's still soft. So we're probably just gonna have to like chunk this whole thing out and see where the rot stops, if it stops at all. And if it doesn't stop, we just have to remove this whole thing. And there's more cracks where that came from, so that might not be our only source of wood rot. So it may be a big job, a bigger job than anticipated. And we went from like, oh, it's mostly surface level kind of aesthetic things to a real problem. So anyway, that's what we're dealing with. But the next step, we're gonna quarantine that for now and stop working on it, because it's gonna be a bigger job than we thought. And I'm just gonna like drill out a couple more of these, like basically in this quarter is where we're working for today. So I'm just gonna kind of do from like the mast back to like here, like basically divide it in half and do some of that. Try it with the filler, let the filler dry, sand it. Tomorrow we'll try to paint it and, you know, see how it goes. But, you know, we just kind of, there's a bit of a Russian doll situation, as things tend to be on boats. I'm sorry to make a lot more noise. I'm almost done with the noise making. There's like a couple more things I'm going to do, and then it'll be quiet. We can turn some music back on, and I'll just be cleaning and filling these little channels instead of using the Dremel. So hang in there. You said you love women in engineering. I don't know if you saw, I don't know if that's why you said that, but these coveralls I actually got from like a thrift store that are, they say, Association for Women in Aviation Maintenance. They're like old Dickies from like some, you probably can't see that, but they're from like some like union essentially for like women in the aviation industry, which is pretty sick. I love them. I almost feel bad for using them as real coveralls, but I'm not cool enough to rock them as like normal clothes, so here we are. Alright, I'm gonna make some more noise for like 5 more minutes, and then we'll chill. Alright, that's enough of that for one day. Also makes your hands go kind of numb, because it's like spinning so fast, it's basically vibrating, and it like makes your hands tingly, which is not the most pleasant feeling. Okay, so now I'll show you what we're looking at. Oh, from a bird's eye perspective. This is what we're looking at. So, got all these little holes now, like that we drilled out these channels to be fillable, essentially. But first we gotta clean it. And everything is covered in dust. You're back with me. We're gonna go clean. I gotta find a spot for you again. Let's see. Whitewater kayaking. That sounds very stressful, because like teens, I feel like, are likely to hurt themselves. Are they? Is it stressful, or are you just like, if they die, they die? If they die, they die. They signed a waiver. So can you hear me okay? We have to get a microphone at some point, but... Oh, okay, so you're just in the pool. Okay, cool. Well, the pool's easy. Or easier, I guess. And then how much time do they have to spend in the pool before you take them, like, to an actual river or a body of water of some kind? Nice. By themselves? Or they, like, will go with you pretty much every time? Yeah, that seems cool. We used to kayak, like, not whitewater kayak. We had, like, sea kayaks. And, my dad wanted us to learn how to, like, flip ourselves back over. And he, like, literally, this is how, like, old school, like, he bought, like, a DVD. It was, like, a DVD of, like, how to flip yourself back over in a kayak. And made us watch it. And we tried to practice in our pool because we had an above ground pool growing up. And like the pool was about as wide as our kayaks because they were like 16, 17 foot sea kayaks, and the pool was like diameter was like 18 feet. So needless to say, it didn't really work. I never learned how to do it, but it seems like a useful skill. Is the weather nice, or are people going to be cold in the pool? Is it going to be like kind of a miserable morning / day of being wet, or is it going to be like nice to be wet? Oh, heated and indoors. Dang, okay. Then I'm sold. I'm there. I was picturing like rainy, overcast, 8 a.m. in the pool kind of vibes. That sounds way more pleasant. Yeah, grumpy teens. No thank you. Does not sound good. We had to deal with like grumpy elementary schoolers a little bit today, and that was plenty. How are you with the teens? Do you stress about them finding you cool? I feel like that would be the hardest part of working with teenagers, is just like dreading their judgment at all times. You're good compared to your coworkers. Are you a lot younger than your coworkers, or you're just cooler than most of them? .30 and then 23. Yeah, so you definitely have a leg up. I feel like it's like swings the other way too. Like after a certain age, I think teens like find the elderly, like 50-something-year-olds like very entertaining because they're so clueless. But like it's the mid-range that's tough because you're not old enough to be charming, you're just old enough to be lame. And that's tough. That's a tough place to be. You should know, this is like one of those times where I'm grateful there's no smell-o-vision, because whatever this stuff is, it literally smells like just cancer. Like it smells outrageously bad and just like so chemically. Let's call that 2 grams. What do you think? Look like 2 grams to you? I think so. Note to self, don't use scales in windy places because the wind makes it not real. But I'm going to call that 2. Worst person, yeah. Okay, so this is our delightful mixture. The red dots are the hardener, and the white is like the actual epoxy. I think it's way more than I'm actually going to need. But now we mix it up. And then we can start putting it in these little crevices. And it says it dries in like 20 minutes, so we'll see about that. That's nice and mixed. It's like basically light pink now instead of white. And now I'm just gonna try to spoon feed it into these little cracks. I don't know if it's gonna be easy to get the camera on that, but we will really try. There we go. That kind of works. we volunteered at this thing today for like a school program that like I used to do, and they had to like basically put on like little plays that take place and like tell like about like some kind of like history or like historical item. And it was elementary level, so all these kids were like, I don't know how old elementary schoolers are, 12, something like that, 9. But anyway, they did one about like an arcade game, and they kept referring to the era as like the 1900s, and I was like, this is devastating. I was like, I need I need a walker and a cane after listening to this for like 10 minutes. They're like, wow, it's so old, from the 1900s, because like the whole like thing was like it had to be about like an artifact, and their artifact was like an arcade machine. And I was like, damn, this is really savage. But it was pretty funny. I think they were in on the joke. Like, I think it was like intentional that it's, you know, not actually that old, but they like knew people would think it was kind of devastating. But it was pretty funny. I'll give it to them. But yeah, the 1900s, an artifact from the 1900s. Kids are crazy, man. Okay, well, we have a lot more than I needed, but now I know. So I did 100 to 2. Next time I can do 50 to 1. So this allegedly dries in like 20 minutes. It's like kind of already less wet than it was. So we're cruising. Yeah, so you see, there's a lot extra, but oh well. C'est la vie. If I had done this area that turned into just rotten wood, this would have been a good amount, but that didn't work out that way, which is fine. But I think that's pretty much it for today, because this is going to dry, and then we'll sand it down tomorrow. And then maybe try to paint it and figure out what we're going to do with the wooden part. That's all ripped up. So the sun is setting. It's actually really pretty out now. Let me show you. Thanks, Laura. Thanks for hanging out. You're a real one. And yeah, right? Isn't that beautiful? This is what it's about, man. The rest of it is a lot of dumb work, but that's the point. Even like back there, the sun's like reflecting off the buildings. It looks really nice. So yeah, we'll probably call it here. Let you get back to prepping for your day tomorrow. I hope it goes well. I hope the teens don't give you too much of a hard time, and they are kind about teaching you new slang. Thanks for keeping us company. That's kind of the whole point. So